nice to record the Parashas here. So we'll make and today is a special day. Today is Tu B'Shvat. It's the New Year's, the Rosh Hashanah Le'ilonos. So I have a treat for you. Look at this. It's customary to eat fruit on Tu B'Shvat and special fruit. What are special fruit? Especially the fruits that Eretz Yisro, Israel, is known to have, that the Torah praises Eretz Yisrael for having its great fruit. And they are what we call the Shiva Saminim. And I still remember vividly that we would watch by the Rebbe's Fabrengen on Tu B'Shvat. The Rebbe had a bowl of fruit in front of him because it's customary to make a bracha. And the Rebbe, we would watch to see which fruit the Rebbe would choose, because it's a complicated halacha. Because when you have a choice of foods to eat, there is a halacha which one should be eaten first, which one you make a bracha first. So we would watch which fruit the Rebbe chose. And typically the halacha says that amongst the Shiva Saminim, if you have an assortment of fruits, you always take from the Shiva Saminim first. And amongst the Shiva Saminim, you always take the one that's mentioned first in the pasuk. So we would watch to see how the Rebbe did it. So I went out and did some shopping for you guys. Long distance. So grapes, pomegranate. Now the reason why we do a pomegranate, besides for it being one of the Shiva Saminim, you could also make a shechiyonu. It's customary to make a shechiyonu, which is another complicated halacha. Which bracha you make first, the shechiyonu or the ha'etz? There are many opinions, and we'll talk about that some other time. We have figs, and I have other shechiyonu fruit for you guys. I don't even know what they are. All I know, I pay out of my nose for them.
Dragon fruit.
And star fruit. And this one. And this. Okay, these are all some of the shechiyonus that we're going to use. And then I'll tell you a shocker. A shocking one. Could anybody tell me why I went out and got even a muffin? I didn't get a chocolate chip muffin. The answer is because the first one of the minim that Eretz Yisrael is praised is chita, wheat. So some say, why are you jumping to the fruit? Why don't you get yourself a good piece of cake? Also to celebrate the good wheat that Israel produces. So we're gonna have a little of everything, and each to his own. Wherever you are, Minnesota, Florida, Rochester, California, Japan, Colorado, London, wherever you are, make sure to eat some fruit, make a shechiyonu, make a bar brietz, because we're celebrating the Rosh Hashanah Le'ilah. Now, some actually say that Rosh Hashanah Le'ilah, Tu B'Shvat, is a perfect preparation for Parashas Yisro in 2 days. Why? Because if you think about it, in Parashas Yisro is the Matan Torah, is the discussion how Hashem gives the Torah. Now, we celebrate that in Shavuos, but for that holiday of the giving of the Torah, we're preparing, from Pesach, we're doing Sfiras Ha'omer, we're counting, we're preparing, we're cleansing. Today we're falling into Matan Torah, this Shabbos, reading it, we're falling into it. And we have, what kind of preparation is it? We're not even preparing as the way we prepare for Shavuos. So some say that the Tu B'Shvat is the preparation lesson for Matan Torah. Why is Tu B'Shvat a good preparation? Because sometimes a person gets depressed and says, "Listen, I'm not worthy enough. I don't have all these merits and all these mitzvahs for Torah. So maybe it's not for me, and maybe I'm at fault or blame." So I saw a beautiful shot. Somebody says that, and he actually quotes a pasuk to interpret this. There's a pasuk that says, "Adam uvehema kaishi Hashem." And the pasuk says Hashem helps the man and the animal. What's the connection? So one of the interpretations is sometimes a person has no merit to be helped. This person has nothing good about him. So the pasuk continues and says, "But look at the behemoth. Why is the behemoth suffering if he did nothing wrong? He's a behemoth." So the fact that something is suffering for no reason is a good enough reason to uproot the problem. So us too, similar to this, is brought that when the Abishah created the trees, the Abishah created all trees to be productive. Every tree, every growing thing should have fruits, bear fruits. Why are some not bearing fruits? Because it all started from a sin that Chava and Adam did. What do you want from the tree? Chava and Adam did it. That's why some trees don't bear fruits. But that gives us hope that because we sometimes choose to do something wrong, God forbid. So for us, we don't have any merit to uproot our suffering, our punishment. But we at least the tree shouldn't suffer, and if Hashem should do it for the tree because He did nothing wrong. Hashem makes the time when Mashiach comes, every tree will produce. That gives us hope that if He'll do it because of them, He will help us too. That's I saw a citizenship shot. Now in Matan Torah, the Aseres Adibros that we're going to learn, every word, every letter is exact, accurate. And there are exactly 620 letters in the Aseres Adibros. And that's significant because the 620 is 612, 613 mitzvahs, plus the 7 mitzvahs to Rabbanan are 620 mitzvahs. That's why it's 620 letters. And everything is special. Now, there's so much to talk about the Aseres Adibros, but I want to actually talk about the first 4, 5, 6 words in the parsha. Vayishma Yisro, Yisro heard. Who was Yisro? Yisro was Kohen Midian, the priest of Midian. Tyson Moshe, he was Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law. He heard what's happening with the Jews, and he comes close. He wants to become part of this wonderful nation. So every one of these words you can write an essay about. Rashi right away says, Vayishma Yisro, Yisro heard. What did Yisro heard? What impressed him most that made him want to become part of the Jewish people? So Rashi says 2 things. He heard Kriyas Yamsuf. He heard all about the splitting of the sea, and he heard about them fighting the war against Amalek. Those 2 things did it for him. He said, that's it. I love it. I'm going to be part of the Jews. Now, all the commentaries say what happened to the Exodus of Mitzrayim, what happened to the Makkas. Why is it that suddenly these 2 things impressed him most? And why both of them? Why didn't he come running just right after Kriyas Yamsuf? Why did he wait for Melchemes Amalek? And then that impressed him. So some say that the Yetzias Mitzrayim didn't impress him yet to come because he said to himself, oh, wow, the Jews are special. The Jews are special. I don't know if I'm worthy enough to do this. Maybe it's just for them. But something that when he saw Amalek getting wiped out, which is Midah Keneged Midah, he felt now is the time to come. Some question what took Yisro so long to be impressed. Moshe Rabbeinu for many years lived in his house until this parsha. In Parashas Yisro already, when Moshe marries his daughter, he lived in his father-in-law's house for many years. Wasn't he impressed by Moshe's behavior, by Moshe's belief? What took it so long? Okay. But the pasuk goes on to say that this man's name was Yisro. Says Rashi, he had 7 names. And Rashi lists off most of the names, what they were. They used to be, and for each name, there is a reason. The funny thing is that Yeser means an addition. The reason why his name is called Yeser, because of Yisro, he merited that a new parsha in the Torah. He brought about a parsha in the Torah. So that's the addition that he brought about. That's Yeser. Yisro is he added upon himself to become a full-fledged Jew, as Rashi said. He was Mekabel the mitzvahs. So I saw a very klutz kasha. Yeser means because of him a parsha in the Torah was added. That's this week's parsha. And this week's parsha, he's not called Yeser. This week's parsha, he's called Yisro. Yeser, he's mentioned the first time Moshe Rabbeinu goes to him in Parashas Shmos. Over there, the Torah refers to him as Yeser. At that point, there was no parsha added yet. It looks like that name came about before the story happened. So put that aside. Kohen Midian, he was the priest of Midian. Why would the Torah give him that title? Please, you're not supposed to mention the history, the bad history of the past. No, the Torah tells this to you because the Torah knows that you're about to get the Torah, and you have to know it's not overwhelming. Whoever you are, look at Yisro. Yisro went from Kohen Midian, from the priest of being the priest of Midian, and he worshipped any type of idol there was, and he was able to make the total transformation to the other side. If he can't do it, you can't do it. But the nicest one is Choshen Moshe. The next title is he's Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law. And this is a lesson in reciprocation. And I want to tell you, we see this in 3 parts of this parsha. Over here, the Torah says that he was father-in-law of Moshe. Earlier in the parashas, it says Moshe Rabbeinu says, I'm his son-in-law. I'm Yisro's son-in-law. They each reciprocated on each other. Each honored the other. Rashi says, Moshe was so proud. Look at my father-in-law. Look who my father-in-law is, Yisro. And Yisro was so proud that he was saying, look at my son-in-law. My son-in-law is Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's a tremendous relationship, a lesson in relationship. So we find this in 3 things in this parsha. We find it here about father-in-law, son-in-law. We find it later on about kibud avein, parents and children. So the Torah says one of the 10 commandments is that children have to honor the parents. And the simple logic is that the parents invested so much time in the education and the upbringing of the children, it's about time we pay back, right? I saw a shot that says, in the Chumash Bereshis, it says that when a husband and wife get married, they leave their parents' home, and now you're for each other, husband and wife. But it says you leave your other than imud. What do you mean, bye-bye, I'm gone? So I saw a beautiful shot. No, there's no bye-bye, gone. The difference is, until you get married, until when you're under their umbrella, you're a taker. The parents are continuously giving you and supporting you. You're the taker. The minute you get married, you move out of their house, no bye-bye. Roles have changed. Now you become the giver. Now you become the giver. Now give your parents nachas. Give your parents honor. You leave, go the taking part, and you become a giving part. Okay? And one last thing, but we see the same thing. One of the other commandments is the mitzvah of Shabbos. In the mitzvah of Shabbos, the Gemara says many, many rewards for a person who keeps Shabbos. One of the rewards the Gemara says, anybody who honors Shabbos properly, you're given all the requests of your heart. Whatever your heart desires, you'll be given. And the question is, what's the connection between the Shabbos and getting your requests? And the answer is like this. The halacha states that you're not allowed to work on Shabbos. You're not allowed to speak about work on Shabbos. But how about thinking about work? So there is no real halacha that says you can't think about it. Nevertheless, the Mechilta says, and this was a quote that rings in our ears, we would hear it from the Rebbe every single Shabbos by Fabregan, that the approach a Yid has to have when the day of Shabbos is, the approach is kol melachtecha asuya. No worries, mate. Everything is done. It's not like I'm delaying my hustle and bustle. I'm pushing it off. When the approach on Shabbos is no worries. It's all done. In other words, even in machshava, I am not thinking about it. So even though the halachically you might be able to do that, your machshava says, I have no worries. You went above and beyond the letter of the law, and you say, I have no worries. Hashem gives you midah keneged midah. He makes sure you don't have worries. And whatever you want, you're going to get. Now, starting today, Tu B'Shvat, it's very special. Because from now on, for the next four months or so, every 15 days there's a holiday. Tu B'Shvat, 15 days later is Rosh Chodesh. 15 days later is Purim. 15 days later is Rosh Chodesh. 15 days later is Pesach. 15 days later is Rosh Chodesh. 15 days later is Pesach Sheni. 15 days later is Rosh Chodesh. A couple of days later is Shavuos. Guys, we're in a roll of holidays. And this is the time to connect be a little more uplifted, and Hashem promises us only good. Good Shabbos.
Yasher Koach, Rabbi.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos to you all.